Hi, welcome to Waz-Dah Gaming. This is Waz here. Going to do a little bit of a video review for Xenoshyft Onslaught. It is a digital version of a board game made by Cool Mini or Not. I wanted to do this video because there hasn't been very much done with this on Steam. I know the game itself, the board game, has a lot of good reviews out there. I'm not sure about the iOS version, the mobile version. I think that's been around for a while. This came out maybe a month ago. I'm not really sure. But I just want to do a little gameplay of it, do a little review of it, because I think it's a good game, and I think it really deserves a little more attention than it's getting. Be warned, it is a little buggy. We've hit a few bugs when playing online multiplayer. They patched out a few of those. I haven't played since the latest patch, so we'll see how it goes. Most of those bugs are not in the solo play, which I'm going to be doing today. But just kind of be warned that if you pick this up for online play, we have hit a snag or two. But they do seem pretty good about patching stuff, so hopefully they keep that up. I'm going to do the solo play today. I'm going to do it on easy. And I'm going to activate the one expansion pack I have. There's 4 expansion packs. They're all relatively cheap. I think $1 or $2. 2 of them add different divisions you can be, add more cards. One adds more cards for your base, and one adds more cards for the enemies. You get them all in a deluxe package if you pick that up too. So here we're starting the game. You get to pick a division that does different things. Armory helps with armor, barracks helps with dudes, command center kind of helps all around, weapons, science gives you grenades and stuff, med base, med packs. Psionics gives you the psionics that I added in from my expansion. I'm going to just go ahead and random because I don't really care today. If you're playing solo, you can actually add up to 4 players and kind of control them all, or do a pass and play, which can be really fun if you have a group of people around. I'm sure that works better with laptops, or maybe with a big picture sort of setup, or I'm sure it works really well with the tablet. I don't know how well it would work with a tablet, but we'll get into that in a minute. I'm going to go ahead and just do 2 today, just so you can kind of see the switching. If you play online, everybody gets 1 division. The game balances out really well because everything is based on per division, so the life that you have is based on how many players you have. So more people gives you more life, but it also gives you more places to defend, which means those cards that you have more cards, but they're going to smaller places, or more places. So this is your screen here. You can kind of click and drag, you can zoom out or in with your mouse wheel. I have heard some people are having problems with the mouse wheel if you're playing on a laptop. Apparently it doesn't work so well. Now, these are my little division cards. This is my ability I can use. I can click to look at his ability. Click here to switch what player I'm controlling. It's pretty easy there. Now, you'll notice that it has rounds and waves. Those are important. Waves indicate what you're drawing from. So the first 3 rounds are wave 1. The rounds 4, 5, and 6 are wave 2, and then the last 3 are wave 3. So you can't buy any of these things until the later rounds. These 9 cards over here are always up for grabs. The interface works. I feel like it could be a little better, but it definitely works. One complaint that I've seen as well, I definitely understand it, is that when I drag my money off, it comes up here. But it's not. Some people think it should be a different color, and I can understand that. It's just kind of blends in with everything. And I can zoom in a little bit here so we can see the cards a little better. You can also just kind of right-click on a card and it brings it up. And because it's mobile, sometimes you think you need to double-click, and sometimes you don't. And it gets a little weird sometimes, but we should be okay. Now, for the first round here, I'm just going to buy this guy. That's all I can really do. Because this is, so my ability here makes guns cost 1 less, once per turn. So we're just going to make that gun cost 2. Now what's kind of cool about this is if we're playing multiplayer, I reduce that cost. I don't have enough, but since we're playing with multiple people, the other players can actually use that buff. So even though player 1 used it, player 2 actually can use that ability. And this is kind of a downside when you're playing like online games without a lot of communication, because I could come in here, use my ability, and say I want this card, and if another player comes by and buys it before I get the chance to, it's kind of a wasted ability. It shouldn't make that much of a difference because of the way the game plays as a whole. And I'll show you that here in just a second. So both people have bought everything. We're going to hit done. One guy has 1 point left, so the game gets mad.
Ready for deployment.
Oh, we're back here. Now, the reason I was saying it doesn't really always matter who's buys what is because this row here belongs to weapons research, but weapons research can actually just play their guy up there. I'm not going to have them do that right now, but if somebody accidentally buys something, it's not that hard to move it around, which is nice. But at the same time, it also means that you also have to, kind of be willing to play stuff on other people's lanes and to let them know that, hey, I have this spare rifle. Do you want this? Now, one thing I want to point out real quick before I move on. Is you'll see that all the equipment cards have symbols here, like this one has a brain, this one has a gun. That dictates, what they are, weapons, armor, stuff like that. And everybody can only have one of something, so you can't have 2 guns, you can't have 2 psychic abilities. It hardly ever matters, but there are a few items that fall on multiple lines. Anybody who's played the trading card game should be pretty used to seeing what's going on here. This guy has 2 attack and 1 health. This guy has 3 attack and 3 health because we've given him this rifle to up his attack by 1. Once you're done,
Warning: Xeno life forms detected.
Voiceover is there. I don't know. I don't really think it's super necessary. But again, it's just kind of what they do. Now, we got these guys fighting. He's going to deal 3 damage. He's going to deal 3 damage. That's fine. I mean, but both my guys are dead. You'll see we have some cards flashing purple, and that's an indication saying I can use these abilities. This guy's ability prevents 2, so we're going to go ahead and just do that right now. Okay, so this enemy, first round, it deals its damage before attacking troops, which would be really bad. But we have this gun here that I can discard and deal my damage beforehand, and thankfully, that should mean I feed them. Nope, we hit at the same time. So, still die, but at least, it's not as bad. Deal 1 damage to the base. Oh, yeah, there's our base HP up here. We're going to take 1 damage right now because of his ability. Again, I feel like that could be a little bigger, brighter, maybe, different color, but it works. And here, this guy's going to hit first because of his ability. Now, this guy is going to come in, we're just going to take 3 damage. Now, so this is where I was talking about having more players does give you more health, but it gives you more of these lanes where bad stuff can happen. Now, here's something I want to talk about, too, that was a little confusing the first time we played. This guy has a reveal effect, and those just take priority. There's some items that say may be done in response to a reveal effect, and there's also cards like this guy that says anytime you could play an instant. Now you'd assume that an instant would be able to be in response to this reveal effect, but it's actually not. So you have to be really careful when you're reading cards because there's things that, this troop does +3 damage, but that can be used any time, but it can't be used in response to these reveal effects. So reveal effects are actually faster than instant speed, and that confused me a little bit the first time I was playing. We made some plans that revolved around us using, instant speed, and it just didn't work. So now these guys are getting a nice buff from that guy in the back, which kind of sucks. So we're just going to, I don't really want to use this right now because it's the first guy in the lane, but I really don't have a choice. I guess I do, but this guy comes back to life, which is going to suck. And the card animations are there as well. You can turn them off, I believe. I feel like that doesn't give you enough time to react to stuff. I don't really know if it makes a difference. I haven't really tried it. We're probably not going to win this lane either because of that shield guy. this guy down. And we're still going to take some damage here. I think we're going to take 2. Now, one thing that does get a little annoying in multiplayer is if you're playing, 4 players online, is every person has to pass on every fight. So even if I have nothing in my hand, I have to hit the spacebar. I have to pass. I have to give up that priority. With 2 people over Skype, it's not terrible. You just be like, hey, I'm done. Just hit it. Most of the time, you'll just hit it, right away. And it's pretty good. Now, this game is a deck builder, for you guys familiar with that concept. And what that means is every time I build something, everything that died goes into this discard pile here. That you can see all my stuff. And next time I would draw something, I'm actually going to shuffle that in, and that's going to become my deck because I don't have any more cards. So as the game progresses, more and more stuff's going to get into this, deck, and I'm going to, hopefully draw it. You can see that the Psionics Lab drew its Psionics this round, but only has 3 money, so it's kind of a give and take. But as the game progresses, it does get harder. You do have these Hive 2 and Hive 3, or Wave 2 and Wave 3 cards, and there's some really mean cards in there, and sometimes they never really feel unfair. It's more like, oh, I should have saved that first strike rifle, I should have saved that grenade, I should have put that armor on somebody different. There are a few that kind of really mess you up, like there's one that attacks from the opposite way, so instead of going 1, 2, 3, 4, it attacks you 1, 2, 3, 4 from the other side, and when that guy comes up, that feels a little bit unfair at times. But as long as you have somebody that's got some kind of instant ability, I haven't really even looked through all these, so I don't even know what I have. Have a heal. So you could use this to damage something, that was coming up from behind you and kind of delay it. So that would work too. And then the armor is always really good with the 4 health. I'm not going to sit here and play a full game because it does take some time. It's usually about 45 minutes to an hour. I've never really lost in the first wave. Usually you end up, getting to that second or third wave and then losing there. It's usually pretty close if you're semi-planning. I could see if you were just having 4 people just play a free-for-all, it just would not work. There's a lot of team strategy involved in this. There's a lot of requesting things, a lot of borrowing things, a lot of planning, especially when you do have the 4 waves of, I'm going to play this grenade, I'm going to play this armor here, I'm going to use my ability to make this cost less so that you can buy it. Especially in the higher waves, you have these troops, and this guy does damage, this guy prevents damage, this guy can be played as an instant into other lanes, so there's some strategies where you take the paratrooper and you can equip him with a rifle as he comes in, so everybody's got to be communicating for this to really work. I think that's what makes the glitches even more frustrating, is when something does glitch out, it's usually really bad for you, because all your resources are really precious. Everything that you want is, one misplayed grenade can ruin a lane, and it can really just kind of set you back. And as much as you don't want it to, that's really. So when those hit you, it's worse than it would be if.
Troops ready for deployment, Commander.
If you can't play a troop where you want it, if you can't do something the way you want to do it, it can really affect this game. And if something doesn't trigger right when you want it to, it's just
Warning,
bad.
Xeno life forms detected.
The bugs I have seen have been few and far between, but some people have seen them a lot, and it has caused some issues. And I can understand that. It does really affect your gameplay when something bad happens. And like I said, we have been mostly unaffected. We had one bug where a certain enemy just would make it so the game just didn't continue, and that was pretty rough. But you know, there's not a lot. Sometimes you just can't do anything about bugs like that, and they did patch it. I haven't tried since that patch. I was not paying attention right there. See, exactly right there. Me not paying attention just is going to cause this whole lane to drop. Well, I do have 3 guys buffing in this lane, so it's not good. But I wasn't going to play this one to completion anyway. But you can see how just a simple misclick right there, me hitting done too soon, is going to cost us 4 points in life. And when you're playing solo, I mean, it's only
acquire your
20
resources.
life, so that could really hurt. The game, like I said, everything is very serviceable in the game. It works. I feel like they could do a little better with the menus. But as far as the game itself, I think it's great. There's a lot of teamwork involved. There's a lot of talking involved. The cards are nice. The price of the expansions are really good. It's a little strange with the expansions. The host only has to have the expansion for it to be used, but for like the grafting lab and the psionics lab, while the psionic cards will get added in, if you don't own the expansion, you can't pick the psionic department. So those cards will be on the board for you to buy, but you cannot pick the psionics as your division when you go in. So if I own this and you join my game, when you come in and pick your faction, their division, you wouldn't have this option. Those cards will be there, will be in game, but you won't get to make use of them as much. The pricing now is really good. Like I said, they're $1, $2. I think they're coming out with more expansions. They've already said one was a standalone expansion. I'm not sure how that's going to work with an online with this the way it's set up now. But we'll definitely see. There are still a few bugs, like I said. I mean, I think the feedback for it works right. The card library is really good. I like the card library as well as far as expansions go. So even though I don't own the Hive expansion, I can look at it. I can come in here and be like, oh, do I really want to buy this? And I really don't, because some of these are just really mean cards. I wanted to come in here real quick before I stop the video, though, to just kind of show off the artwork here. Because it is really good artwork, and I assume most of this is straight from the actual cards. You know, I mean, it's good on, it's a really, you know, I mean, it's good in the tabletop. It's good to see that come through here. It's not as important. I mean, it might even be more important. I'm not really, you don't look at the cards as much as you're looking at like the rules and their health and their armor. I did that backwards, health and damage. And the pictures kind of fall into the background, but when you do take the time to look at them, they're really nice. So overall, I would give this game about probably a 7.5 out of 10. It's fun. The menus are playable. They're not the best. Bugs really do take it down a level, but they are patching them. I think with a few more patches and with a little more love, it'll definitely be a good game. Definitely a great game. Again, pick it up for you and your buddies, start a game. It's a lot of fun, especially if you have a Skype, if you can talk to each other. Communication is definitely key. But thank you to everybody so much for watching. I'm going to go ahead and end the video now. If you guys have any questions, comments, leave them in the comment section. Likes the video, subscribe, share it with your friends, all that good stuff. You guys have a great day, and we will see you around.